Hello, my beloved souls. Blessed be, blessed day. Welcome back. I'm Autumn, the Enlightened daughter. Sorry, I just realized you may not be able to hear me. So, again, hello. Blessed be, blessed day, everybody. Welcome. I'm Autumn, the Enlightened daughter. For those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do, welcome back, High Vibe Tribe. I love you so much. Um, Decided to go live real quick because I had already started a video for you guys earlier. I was gonna do a Woke Wednesday video, and it ended up just being a video about like this manifestation hack that I've kind of figured out. And I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't pull cards for the Woke Wednesday update, but I did want to give you guys a Woke Wednesday reading and do like an energy update to see what's going on. It feels very quiet, feels very still. It's like a lull almost, which is a good thing, right? Which is definitely a good thing. Like I will take a lull any day of the week. We don't always need to be in chaos and moving, right? So that was the energy that I just felt in when I was connecting with everyone. Um, it's like the calm before the storm, right? We all know that we're headed into eclipse season, so take this little quiet moment for what it is, right? Breathe, stay really grounded. Um, Staying really grounded is going to be really important at this time, and understanding that we don't need to be taking things personally. Um, we want to be very responsive and not reactive, right, to how people are coming at us. We don't want to be flying off the handle because they're projecting their fears and their anxieties onto you, or um, whatever they're growing through at the moment, right? We're all on different timelines. We all got different things going on. So for some people, these transits are going to be a little bit more complicated than others, right? And so it's just a matter of having like compassion and holding space for people and really utilizing the energy of forgiveness. And compassion, empathy are like cousins, right? And forgiveness is a healing balm that helps all of us. So really just tapping in and utilizing the energy of forgiveness for your highest and greatest good. You're not going to go wrong when you offer forgiveness for someone. You're not going to go wrong to just on the clock when you're asking for forgiveness, right? When you're receiving forgiveness, whether that's from people that are still incarnate or people that have crossed on to the other, realms. It doesn't matter. That energy is still healing. I was pretty frustrated recently with some stuff that was going on before I like sat with the energy and was like, hey, you asked for a certain manifestation, like this is that energy playing out to help you get to that thing, right? Sitting in that moment, like I had a very human moment. I'm human. I get mad sometimes. I have a fucking temper, and I was a little frustrated, and I had to really just like sit with that energy. And I'm reading a Louise Hay book. Um, Sorry, I hope my music just like got all loud. Reading a Louise Hay book again, you can heal your life, right? And with all my spiritual teachers, I like to read their stuff numerous times because I always get something new out of it. And in that moment of my frustration, I happen to be reading, and she's talking about the energy of forgiveness and an exercise that she does, where she'll like place the person that there's some type of discord with on a stage. Like, imagine you're in a theater and you see a stage in front of you, and there's a chair on the stage and a spotlight, and you put the person that you're frustrated with like in that chair, and have kind of like that conversation, whether it's like, I'm really pissed and I just need to get all of this out and empty out my feelings, or just shit that I just really want to say to you, or just offering you the energy of forgiveness, and then being like, you know what, I'm willing to forgive you and let this go, and I'm letting it go with perfect love, perfect trust, like with grace, like I'm letting it go. Because when we sit in the energy of frustration, when we sit in the energy of anger and bitterness and resentment and fear and all that shit, all it's doing is keeping our energy, our energetic field constricted. All it's doing is taking up space that could be for love with this energy of fear. Because no matter how you word it, anger, fear, jealousy, they're all the same thing. It's all the same thing. If it's outside of love, it's motherfucking fear, right? Love or above. We got love, we got joy, we got enlightenment, we got harmony, we got peace, right? All of that is high vibrational energies. Anything below that is fear just masking as something else, and you just need to deal with it. You need to give it some love, right? So we want to be very forgiving to these energies around us, and we want to be very forgiving to ourselves as well. It's really important during this time. Especially during this lull, you're going to have time to think. You're going to have time to sit with your energies. You're going to have time to journal. You're going to have time to to pray and to meditate, 10, 10 on the clock, and to manifest. So really work with those energies, right? And know that you're being supported right now. Again, we just had that super full moon in Aries that was so powerful. Probably knocked a lot of you on your ass, which is why we kind of have this lull period before we go into eclipse season, right? Which is going to shake things up again. And whenever we go into eclipses, those are timeline jumps, right? So we go from being like, all right, on this path where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, all of a sudden you're like 4, 17, 19, 35, and you're like, what just happened, right? But you're jumping to these levels because you have the capacity to jump to these levels, right? Like energetically on a soul level, you're ready for this, and it's time to kind of like put yourself out there, put yourself to the test. Take a risk on yourself, right? Like I don't gamble and Beyonce. I don't listen to Beyonce at all, but I did love this one quote I heard from her. And she's like, I'm not a gambling woman, but if I am going to gamble, I'm definitely going to gamble on myself. And I love that, right? I love that confidence. I love that strength. I love that assuredness. And that's how it needs to be. Like, I've told many of my clients, I've told many of my friends, like, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your own products, why would anyone else? It makes no sense, right? So can't ask for people, ask of people what you if you don't believe in your own work and the things that you're doing, then how can you ask other people to show up and be like, hey, can you support my questionable energy? Hey, can you support my doubt and my fear? No, nobody's going to want to invest in that, especially not financially, right? Financially, you're not getting my money or my time for shit that I can't get back. That's a waste. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not going to do it. So think about that when you're talking to people. Is this a good time? Is this a good investment in their money and in their time? Right? Time I can't get back, and I'm not trying to take a financial loss unnecessarily. Right? All right. Thank you, angels and guides, for being here with me in the collective. Let's see what we got going on. I'm gonna start with the Power Animal Oracle because that was a deck that I was holding in my hand when I was doing just like a test run, and they were like, "No, we have a message for everybody." Ooh, it's one of my spirit animals, Black Panther. Love that. So follow your passion. Thank you, angels. Thank you, guys. What do we need to know? What do we need to see? Sorry, one more. What does the collective need to know or see this week? Please reveal to us what we need to know. Right, bottom of the deck. Yes, butterfly transformation. Get ready for a big breakthrough. If you guys heard, if you guys listened to the video that I did on, I don't fucking know, recently. It might have been the video on vulnerability, maybe the one right before that. But I kept saying, you guys are so close. You're so close. You're so close to your breakthrough. This is the universe just confirming those messages. All right. Like, get ready, guys. It is time. It is time. It is time. I promise you, you're so much closer than you think. This is not the time to give up. And right, going along with that manifestation video I just made, it's like, that's the energy that I was speaking of it's gonna feel worse before it gets better, right? Then caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly, right? Caterpillar is living its best life, just eating its grass and dirt or whatever it does, and then it goes into the chrysalis, not really knowing what's happening, but trusting and having faith and just moving along. And then it completely dissolves into like nothingness before it's recreated into something so beautiful that we get to see, right? We don't see the process of when they're falling all apart and completely losing every part of what they thought they were to create the new version of themselves. The version of themselves is so beautiful, so transformative that we all stop to look. We all love to see butterflies, right? For the most part, except for my daughter because she's a weirdo, right? But for the most part, you see a butterfly, you see their beauty, you see it, and it just gives you a moment of peace, right? That is where you're all headed. That's where we're all headed, right? So if you're feeling like life isn't really moving, like, or if you're feeling like things have just gotten so much worse of the things that you're manifesting, just understand that this is your chrysalis phase and that you're coming out. You're right on the other side of that, right? Just hold on a little bit more. First card out was giraffe or foresight. You're able to see what is in the store for your future. So not only are you able to see it, right, because we've been manifesting and focusing on it, but you're putting the vision out there, right? It's like You put the address into the GPS. You know exactly where you're headed. You know exactly where you're going, right? And there may be detours, there may be bumps in the roads, there may be construction, there you might have to reroute a couple of times. But at the end of the day, the end goal is the end goal, right? And so giraffes are very tall and they see things from a higher perspective, right? So you're being guided as well to look at things from a higher perspective. Look at the big picture of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to create, manifest, what you're working towards, right? What is the end goal, right? It's like when I'm working with clients and I'm coaching them. It's like, okay, well, what are you trying to accomplish, right? Like, what are you working on that you think that I can help you with? Is it your health and fitness? Is it money, business, and finance? Is it, sex, love, and relationships, right? Like, I need to know what we're working towards so that we have a roadmap to get there, right? It's just like, well, I don't know. It's like, all right, well, we can just kind of like drive until you run out of gas and then see where you end up, or you can like set a destination and then make plans to get there, right? I want you guys to start setting destinations. I need you to be very intentional about how you're living your life, right? Stop being extras in somebody else's play. Don't make life happen to you by happenstance, right? Like, really, this is your shit, own it, okay? Raccoon, resourcefulness. You have all the resources you need. Everything that you need is added onto you, right? Whether that is physical, tangible resources, or the fact that you just have like the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, maybe people in your circle that you can ask, or maybe you can use things like Google to find the information that you want. I'm very big on working with the Holy Spirit and accomplishing my breakthroughs and my revelations and getting the things that I need. Understand this too, that all information that's ever been is also still accessible, and it's not just accessible because we have things like Google. All information that's ever been throughout all the ages is still energetically available to you. So if you choose to tap into that energy, again, everything you need is here, right? You absolutely have the ability. I work with Louise Hay. She's been dead for several years. I work with Wayne Dyer. He's been dead for several years, right? I haven't met Ayala Van Sant in person yet, but I connect with her energy all the time and I ask for her guidance, right? If you haven't done already, I would definitely suggest reading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right? And then you'll hear about like his, master key team and like how that works out. But at the end of the day, you can tap into the energy. Praying. If we ask the right questions, you're going to get the answers, right? Wisdom is granted unto all of us. There is no exception to that rule. So it's a matter of, are you asking the questions to get the answers that you need, right? Are you being vague in your questions? Um are you asking clear questions, right? Are you asking things that are going to serve your highest and greatest good, or are you, just again, just by happenstance floating through life and extra in somebody else's play, like it's like when I'm doing a tarot reading and I ask the client, do you have a specific question or do you just want to see like the general energies around you, right? If you have a specific question, then let me know, because that's a very specific energy. But if you wanted just a general reading, I can do that too. But then it leaves things kind of open-ended. I'm going to see what the strongest energies are. So you might be thinking about money maybe, but your strongest energies around you might be love, or you might be thinking about love, but the strongest energies are around you about your health and fitness, because you need to address that, right? And so it's the same with the universe, right? Like, be clear about what it is that you desire, be clear about what it is that you're asking, be clear about the wisdom that you need. When I read a biblical text and I don't necessarily understand it from a logical mind, then I go into meditation, I go into prayer, and I'm like, Yeshua, help me to understand what you meant by this, right? God, help me to understand what the channeler meant by this. Is it verbatim this, or am I misunderstanding because maybe we're using the words differently in this day and age, right? Like, so you have that capacity, but you need to just step into it. You need to do something about it. Okay. Can't make this up. Can't make this up. Can't make this up. Let go of your judgments. There's nothing that tickles me more than listening to someone be judgmental and critical and over someone else as if they are perfect. It's the cutest thing. Haven't met a perfect person yet. Not one. And the Bible very clearly says that God shall remember your lawless deeds no more. You have a heavenly mother and father that created the entire universe, that is looking at you through the eyes and the scope and the lens of perfect love. You're imperfect in your imperfections. Think about a toddler trying to walk, right? You see this baby kind of trying to walk and they're stumbling around, they fall on their pamper butt, they get back up, or they bump something on the table, or they go to hold on to something, but that thing might be like a tablecloth, and so they fall, the tablecloth falls, and yeah, you might be a little frustrated with them, or you might not. You might just be like, oh, they're so cute, they're trying to figure it out. Here, let me help them. Let me give them a safe space. Let me clear a way so that they have a path to walk and they can learn to walk, right? We're loving them. We're going to encourage them. We're going to help guide them. It is the same thing. So then why then do we think that we need to sit in judgment of others? If God is not judging you, the creator of all things, why the fuck are you sitting there judging somebody else? Right? That's when we go into the energy of forgiveness. That's when we realize that in spiritual truth that there's really nothing to forgive. Right? And it's a matter of our perception and how we're looking at things and our perspective, right? And that we just need to change our inner perspective. Why does this thing bother me? Why am I triggered by this thing? Why does this person get under my skin? Right? There's an answer there. There's an answer there. If it's triggering you, if it's bothering you, if it's irritating you, there's a healing that needs to take place. There's an awareness that needs to happen from that space. That's a gift being given to you. Okay. Turtle retreat. Stop trying to make something happen. Fucking hilarious. This is hilarious. I think I'm just gonna make this like a part 2 of that video I made earlier because this is so funny. Um, there's strength in the stillness. There's strength in the quiet. And I know that it doesn't feel like that. Listen, I get so tired of being told to play nice, right? Play nice or to be nice. Take the motherfucking high road. Shit's exhausting. And to go into the stillness, to go into the quiet. Having said that, um, there's strength and power in stillness. There's strength and power in the quiet. One, everything that goes on doesn't need a comment. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, doing too much of this. Not everything deserves a comment, right? And not everything deserves a comment. Not everything deserves our attention. Where our attention goes, our energy flows, right? So if you're giving your attention to it, guess where your energy is going? It's being depleted into that little whatever that is. And when you're in this mode where you're having to choose all the time, which is life, we're always having to make a choice whether I'm choosing to record or not record, sit or stand, go to the bathroom or not go to the bathroom, right? Like we're always making a choice. When you're in these situations where your choice has to be something from fear or faith, though, it is important, it's imperative that we choose faith all the time. It's imperative that we stay in our high heart. And that's not always easy in the stillness and the quiet, right? And so as humans, we feel like we have to be doing something. We have to be doing something. We want this, we got to do this. We want this, we got to do this. We got to force, we got to push, that's that masculine energy that we've been coming out of, right? We're moving out of that masculine energy. We're moving into more of a feminine energy with the rise of the divine feminine and moving into the age of Aquarius, right? We're learning that we don't have to be crabs in a barrel to manifest. We're learning that we don't have to be nasty or controlling or condescending or petty or childish in order to get the things that we want, right? We can do so from a higher vibrational stance. We can be in our hearts. We can be in love. We can trust the process, right? So I've been working on something for a while, right? And I've been getting so frustrated because again, all the processes, all the classes, all the courses, all the things, right? I've done all the things that a person needs to do. And it's like I was making no traction. And so I had to sit down with these energies and, one of my mentors, just again, like listening to her. And it's just like, yo, the same conversation she had when she was at this level in her business. It's like, maybe this isn't for me, right? Like I'm doing all the things and nothing is happening. And her mentor said this to her: 80% of what you need to do is internal. 20% is the external stuff, the doing, right? The 9 to 5, the posting on Facebook and social media, the making sure you have a website, that's the 20%. But the 80% is all in energetic alignment. The 80% is you being a vibrational match for that in which you are calling in or that in which you've created, right? And so that's why we retreat. That's why we go into the stillness, so that we can make sure vibrationally that we are at a high vibrational level, that we are actually matching and aligning with the energy of the new timeline that we're on, so that we can receive the blessings, the gifts, the miracles, the grace that is available to us there, right? But we need to do that by taking a step back sometimes. And I know that it's hard and it doesn't make sense. It's like I'm trying to move forward, but I'm telling you to step back. You're trying to move forward and I'm telling you to stop moving altogether. And you're like, what? And I'm like, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. You know what I mean? It's just like, just wait. It's like being at a stop sign, right? Or a red light, right? Like right now you're at the red light and you can't just keep going. If you go, you're going to cause an accident. You're going to get a ticket. Anything can happen, right? You just have to wait. So you can do so with a good attitude, knowing that the light eventually is going to change and you're going to be able to keep moving forward. Or you can sit there in frustration and anger and getting pissed off at the fact that the light is red. And now the car in front of you has decided not to drive when the light changed. So now you missed the light again. And now you're sitting there at another red light. Why did that happen? Because your energy was fucked up and you're over here being frustrated. So now, oh, you like being frustrated? Here's a little bit more for you. 2112. So 2112 and 2121. I don't know, I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, so telling. What are we doing next? Romance or... All right. The romance angels came out today too, which I thought was interesting, but they're going to go last. So we're just going to pull a little tarot and see what up with you guys. So what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What do we need to know? What do we need to see? Okay. Okay, bitches. Y'all better... I am so excited about this for everybody. If this is what a lull weeks brings me, fuck yeah, I'll take it. Come on. The 9 of Ariel, which is the 9 of Pentacles, right? So living your best life, abundance, prosperity coming in from the work that you put in, from the seeds that you planted, just finally getting your blessings. You know what I mean? So just a big indicator that success is around the corner, blessings are around the corner, financial changes and shifts are occurring for you. Beautiful. Under that, we got the 7 of Cups. So be clear. Again, the energy of clarity, right? If you give confusion to the universe, you're going to get confusion back. So just be clear about what it is you want. Understand, guys, that I think we get confused with this energy with the 7 of Cups or 7 of Raphael, right? Like, yes, you have 7 cups to choose from, right? But understand this. Understand this. If you feel that you made a mistake after you've chosen your cup, you have the option to choose again. It's not like a one and done. It's like you're driving down the road and you make a left and you're like, I shouldn't have went this way. All right, well, let me double back and come back out and then I'm gonna go the other way next time. It's like that, right? Like we overthink things. We make it more complicated than that. So and you need to be clear, right? Like make a decision, right? Like I want to go left, I want to go right, and then just stand by your decision. And if once you go left or right, you don't like the decision, then you check in with the universe and you're like, all right, we need to recalibrate and I'm trying to go somewhere else next time. It's like your GPS. You put in, I don't know, you put in an address for a freaking Starbucks, right? You were like, I want to go to the Starbucks on Broadway, right? And then you start driving there, you're like, damn, there's mad traffic. And you're like, you know what? I know there's another Starbucks on 8th. Let me go to that one instead. And so you put in a new GPS. GPS is not yelling at you like, oh no, how dare you change your mind? It's like, all right, well, instead of making a left, go straight and then make a right. It's like that with the spiritual game. This is like, don't overthink this shit too much, right? Like get into it and start having fun. Every morning you get a reset, you get a redo. All right. Okay, look, but this is why, maybe this is why the romance angels came out. Okay, so we got the lovers card coming in. Energy of Gemini. The lovers used to be a choice. When I see this lovers energy, although this is very romantic here in this deck, it's deep, intimate relationships, right? So that can be a sexual relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a deep friendship, right? Someone that you really trust, a brother from another mother, a sister from another mister type of vibe going on, right? This is a love of yourself, of the masculine and feminine energy within you coming to balance. This is divine healing and health and wellness as well, right? This is the love of the universe pouring into you. So for some of you, during this time, you will be meeting a divine counterpart. For some of you, this is going to be just like soul tribe, soul members coming in, or just you having a new higher appreciation of yourself and loving, appreciating, and valuing the people that are around you. All right. It's beautiful energy. Love that for you. Then we got the Knight of Ariel. Okay. Slowest moving knight in the deck. Absolutely. But when this knight comes, it comes correct. When the Knight of Ariel comes or the Knight of Pentacle comes, it's going to come correct. It's going to come solid. So, again, I think it's so funny that I'm on this manifestation shit. So, it's like this energy of the turtle, right? Things are moving a little bit slowly. So much so that it might feel like you're standing still or not moving at all. And at times you will be paused, at times there are red lights, at other times they're yellow. But understand that when this comes through, if this is someone, like, let's say you're in a relationship, or let's say this is a love reading for you. If this is the person that's coming for you, they're moving slow, they're taking their time, but when they do come, they come correct. They're not going to come with confusion. They're not going to come with lies and manipulation. This person is coming with solidarity. This person is coming with hope for a future. This person is coming in with respect. This person is going to come in and, they're the person that's going to look at the long term, and this is marriage. This is the person that's trying to build a foundation with you, right? Then they're just not trying to hit it and quit it. That's this energy, right? This is also the universe coming in and being like, hey, you've been manifesting things, you've been working on things, you've been putting stuff out into the universe. We know it feels a little slow, but here you go. Trust me that it wasn't for nothing. So it might be a slow thing that you're seeing manifest in your life right now, but again, a delay is not a denial. Sometimes we're at a yellow light, sometimes we're at a red light. Eventually the light will change. Okay. Then we got, geez Louise. All right, I'm overwhelmed right now with all the yumminess. Like, we got the 10 of Raphael, 10 of Cups. So again, a lot of big love energy coming in. And the 10 of Raphael, 10 of Cups is ultimate love, right? That's love in your relationship. That's love with your family. That's love in your job, love in your life. You feeling yourself. Like, life is just like, yes, let me love on you. And you're like, yes, let me get that, right? So I love this beautiful rainbow coming in again. So blessings and money, right? Blessings and love. So yes, take that, right? Thank you, October. Thank you, October. 5 of Michael. All right. There's still some cleaning up to do. I addressed this in the manifestation video, but there's still cleaning up to do. It is what it is, right? We just want to make sure that our container is clean and full for the things that we're calling in. So whatever might be coming up right now that might feel a little uncomfortable or might be triggering you or whatever, understand that it's coming up so you can clear it out, so you can make room for all this good shit. You know what I'm saying? You want all these good blessings coming in, but you have to empty your cup, right? You have to empty that container of what's no longer serving you, which is fine. For some of you, that's going to be relationships, because this relationship energy is really big right now. For some of you, that's going to be your job or your home, or things like that. Like, if it's not serving you and it's time for you to move on, that's what it is. I know that I'm moving in the next couple of weeks because the energy here is just so negative, and as much light as I'm bringing in, I'm not going to keep having to do such deep inner vibrational work in my space, right? Like, I need to have a safe space, a sanctuary, a place of peace. And if I can't find that in this situation, very simple. When shit don't add up, I take myself out of the equation. It's the math is so easy. Love me some arithmetic. 2 plus 2 always equals 4. When we start getting shit like fucking 5s coming in and all types of other numbers, facts, okay? Leap of faith. Love this. It's the full energy of Aries. Believe in yourself. Listen to your heart. Do what gives you joy. Do what gives you joy. Keep your motherfucking vibration up. So for a lot of you, this is a new beginning. Again, a new home, a new opportunity. You taking a chance on yourself. So you loving yourself. You having faith in yourself and your capabilities. All right. And then look at this. Solutions, right? We're not a vibe. We're not a vibe. we're not a tribe of problems. We're a tribe of solutions, right? So this is us coming in and again, that giraffe energy, foresight, looking at the big picture, right? That's what you're going to get with this. Let me take a step back. Let me look at the big picture. I'm too caught up in the energies right now. Let me take a step back and see what's really going on, right? Why am I all in my feelings right now? A is this an appropriate place for me to have all these feelings, or am I doing too much? Because sometimes I might be doing too much, right? Sometimes it's you. Maybe you're acting funky. Maybe you're, PMSing, or the winds aren't right, or the planets are messing with you, or you didn't sleep right, or something triggered you, whatever it may be. We got to take a look at it, right? Try to take a look at it from every scenario and then ask for guidance, right? If we can't come up with a game plan, it's like, all right, Lord, can you lead me in this? Like, help me to figure this out. How can I, release this tension? How can I get out of my own way? How can I embrace, your majesty? How can I get rid of this resistance so that I can fully embrace that in which is for me, right? How do I, let me see, show me a different perspective. Show me what I'm missing, right? That's that energy. Love that for you. Self-control. Look, forgiving and healing energy. You can't make that up. Forgiving and healing energy. They're on a roll. I'm telling you. It's a quiet week, so this is a week to do some fucking internal work so that you can come into that blessing of love and blessing into abundance that's coming in. And I feel like that energy that's coming in, that big money and love, that's that eclipse shit coming in, right? And the eclipse is what, the 14th? So this is the week to start preparing for that, right? Let me clean up my house. Let me forgive who I gotta forgive. Let me empty all my cups because I'm trying to get all these damn blessings, right? I want to make sure my hands are open, my cups are open, my heart is open, my soul is open, so I can get all this in. Okay. Look at this. Epiphany. Ping! Right? Light bulbs going off. Love this. So this is the energy of hermit. This is the energy of solitude, of going within, of being by yourself and just being one with your mind. This is fucking hilarious. Joy through spiritual growth. And that's what we're doing, right? We're all just growing through these trials and tribulations. Ginger and lemongrass tea. I love this. The star coming in. So a wish coming true. The energy of Aquarius. So believe in yourself. Believe that there is a solution for what you perceive to be a problem. And I'm saying you perceive to be a problem because it's a matter of perception. We can change it, right? We can see it as a problem, or we can see it as a step on our path of spiritual growth and ascension, right? But there's an end to a tough time coming in. There's a solution coming in. There's grace coming in. There's a wish coming true. There's something that you put out into the ethers that's going to come kind of like, it's just like a delightful surprise from the universe, right? And it's really drawing my attention that there's a huge star here, and then there's all this huge light coming in, right? So I feel like this wish, this dream, whatever it was that you're praying for, that is the solution that you're looking for, right? So there's going to be something coming in for you guys but within the week, because this is a weekly reading. That's going to be an answer to the prayer. That's going to change everything. That's going to resolve the problem. That's going to help alleviate whatever this tension is, right? And again, I'm going to focus on love and money because those seem to be the two biggest energies that are coming up right now. Or I should say relationships and finance, right? Because it's not always a love thing. Then we got the King of Gabriel. Ew. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius up in here. So this is fire energy, confidence, motivation, standing in your truth, not being afraid to speak up, a leader, right? So again, this is you being the author of your book. This is you realizing that you create your reality and taking your power back. What do I want my life to look like? I'm on this realm. I'm a king. I'm a queen. I'm an emperor. I'm an empress. I'm a god. I'm a goddess. Let me show up as that. Let me be that. Let me rock with that. Right? How can you stand in your power during this week? I love this. I love the King of Wands as well because he is fiery and he's quick, but he actually cares about his team, right? So, and I really resonate with that as an Aries because I know for some people that I can come off, I can be aggressive or a little like rough. One, I'm a New Yorker. Two, I'm an Aries because I don't have time for all the. I'm not coddling you. I'm not coddling you, but I fucks with you and I love you. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like the tough love kind of thing. Like I love you. I'm yelling at you, but I love you because I'm yelling at you because I know you can do better. I'm yelling at you because why are you giving up on yourself when you know that you're great, right? Like that's the kind of energy I love this around you. So some of you may be this energy, or you may just have someone around you like me who's here yelling at you to get your asses moving because we know that you could do better. All right, and then we got the Four of Michael, the Four of Swords. So this is about rest, relaxation, quiet time, solitude. Yeah, are they saying the same thing? Maybe you guys should take this week of rest and get some rest. Love that. I love that. I'm taking it. I got some passion flower yesterday. So I put them in a tea to try to help me sleep because I don't sleep very much. They're supposed to help with lucid dreaming. They're supposed to help with insomnia. They didn't really do shit for me. So I think tonight I might just have to double it up and make it stronger. But, the energy of rest. I'm trying to be obedient. Just at the wrong drugs. All right. So thank you, angels. Thank you, guys. Romance angels. Let's get some final messages for the collective. What are we talking about with all this love energy y'all got sneaking in? What are we talking about? Okay. Oh, bottom of the deck, unrequited love for some of you. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So for some of you, now that we have this Venus and Leo energy going on, right, you're starting to understand that maybe I had the rose-colored glasses on. Maybe they're not the one. Maybe this doesn't feel good, right? Maybe you're being approached by people that you're not really interested in, because you haven't been dating for a while, and you're just kind of like, is this all there is to it, right? But it's not. It's the energy of discernment, guys, right? Like if you're feeling it, cool. If you're not feeling it, cool. And just be really honest with yourself. For those of you that are in a relationship, maybe if you've been at odds or something. Hold on. I see my battery dying. Okay. Maybe if there's been like some tension, like there are times where they didn't like each other, where they didn't talk, where they didn't communicate. You grow individually, right? You're growing and your partner is growing. And then you guys are growing individually, and then you're also growing as a couple, right? And sometimes there's highs and lows, there's ebbs and flows. It's not always romance, it's not always a honeymoon. There's realities, there's job losses and gains and deaths and births and transitions and moves, and there's all the stuff that goes around, right? So if you're feeling, and this is for those of you that are in a relationship, right? If you're feeling like there's nothing there, then again, in this energy, this is the energy to pause, to reflect. This isn't a time to make a drastic decision. This is a time to chill out and to just sit with the energies and realize they're growing through some changes right now. I'm growing through some changes right now. Like we need to be supporting each other instead of being enemies, right? It's you and your partner against the world. It's not supposed to be you against your partner and your partner against you. That's never the thing. Okay. For those of you that may be single out there ready to mingle, again, you might just be meeting the people that are just not doing it for you. But right under that is passion. So maybe it's not, Tom or Tiffany, but maybe Jim or Jane are coming in hot and heavy. So it's just give yourself some time, okay? Don't give up on the path just because the initial people that are trying to holler at you or the initial offers you're getting are things that you don't want. Nor should you settle. And I think that's really important as well, because I know, especially when we're healing love and relationships like that, that people just don't want to be alone, right? And so you'll kind of like tolerate shit you wouldn't normally tolerate. You'll accept stuff you wouldn't normally accept. All the things, and you just need to understand and one, love, honor, and respect yourself, right? Respect every aspect of yourself, as we see in the Lover's card, to know what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate, what you will accept, and what you won't accept, right? And if it's not okay, if a person's not pouring into you the way you're pouring into them, it's okay to walk away. If you're Constantly having the text and the check in, and the other person's not doing it, then it's time to walk away. I tell my peoples all the time, especially my girls. I'm like, yo, you take 2 steps towards the homie and you pause and you wait and see what they're gonna do. And if they're not taking 2 steps towards you and making the same effort, then all you've wasted was 2 steps. You get to spin around and you get to bounce. But if they start making an effort and reciprocating, then hey, then yeah, we can keep walking towards each other and together, at some point we'll meet. But I'm not gonna be doing all this work while you're over here just like ghosting me, right? And I know we see a lot of that in like the twin flame community where it's like, oh, I'm the runner, I'm the chaser. No, there doesn't need to be a runner and chaser if one of you would just be still. Be still, sit with your energies, heal your inner energies. The other person, if they are truly your twin, will be doing their own healing work on their own journey. It's not for you to be chasing behind them and trying to force them to do it. People have to deal with their own emotions, right? So we got very soon. Love that for those of you that are, again, single, ready to mingle. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Sorry. Um, how many more times you got to be told to just chill out and to wait and to be clear about your decisions, right? Right? Make a choice. Make a choice. What do you want? The universe is so benevolent. You get that and what you desire. So what do you want? You want chaos, you want a headache, you want codependency, you want fear, you want abuse, you want toxicity, you want narcissism, you want to be ghosted, right? Like, what do you want? What are you tolerating right now? Are you tolerating a certain behavior because this person fits in the mold of your twin flame or divine counterpart or soulmate? Or are you tolerating, being neglected and unseen and unheard and lacking intimacy in your life because you don't think that you deserve it or because you think that that's all there is? Or like, what are you doing, right? And why are you tolerating that? That's a better question. Why am I okay with being disrespected? Why am I okay with being lied to? Why am I okay with being cheated on? Why am I okay with being abused? Why am I okay with being abandoned? You know, why am I okay with being ignored? Why am I okay with not being seen or heard or feeling validated or not doing the things that I want to do, right? Like, if you enjoy going out with your partner and like, spending time outside and maybe going out to a restaurant once a week, and then you get into a relationship with someone who never wants to do that, and you're always doing the things that they want, but they're never doing the things that you want, well, then you're betraying yourself and then you're no longer loving yourself, right? And so that becomes a very different conversation because now I'm betraying myself to love you. Can this even really be love? No, right? It's not going to be love if you're betraying yourself in order to love this person, right? It's like when we're talking to our friends and families about our goals and dreams, and they don't want us to try this and they don't want you to do that because it's not going to work, or, why would you do that? You're making them uncomfortable. Like, if my happiness is a problem for you, that's a problem for me, right? You can't be in my life if you want me to be unhappy. You can't be in my life if you want me to be miserable. You can't be in my life if you want me to stick through a situation that's toxic. I don't know how many women I know that are in marriages right now that are just, they're miserable and they don't want to get divorced because what would people say? I'm like, they don't got nothing to say about you being broke and being beaten and cheated on, but they got something to say about you leaving that situation. Then they're the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's the same conversations. So, what choices are you making and what are you accepting? Are you tolerating a cup that has something in it that you don't want because you're afraid that you're not going to get the cup you want, right? If you want a cup of love, why are you drinking a cup of like? If you want a cup of love, why are you drinking a cup of eh? You want a cup of love, why are you drinking a cup of fucking chaos and turmoil and abuse, right? Sometimes you got to be a little thirsty to really appreciate what's coming in. I would rather be thirsty and wait for my cup of love than drink from a cup that's poisonous and not going to serve me, that I'm then going to have to heal from just while I still wait for my cup of love, right? Anyway, be clear about your desires, right? What are you looking for in your relationships? What are you looking for in a love relationship? And talk to people about this all the time, especially when I'm talking to couples. Like, all right, well, what is the goal for your relationship? Right? 'Cause it's like, oh, we want to get married. Okay, and then what? All marriages is a big ass party. What do you do after the party? Now that you have each other for the rest of your lives, what are your career goals? What are their career goals? Are you both going to work? Is one of you going to stay home? Are you going to have kids? Is one of you going to stay with the kids? Do you guys even want kids? How are you going to raise them? Were you raised like Christian? Will you raise Muslim? Or are you going to raise them under your faith? So you're going to give them no faith? Like, there's so many questions. And then what do we want to do with the family that we have? Where do we want to live? Do we want to travel? Or is that important to us? Like, there's so many questions that we can be asking of ourselves, and the desires and the goals and the dreams and expectations that we have for a relationship before we start going out there playing with people's emotions and their feelings. I want to say like 90% of the people that I deal with should be healing instead of dating, but they're doing the opposite. They're just bringing their messy ass energy from one partner to another and trying to figure out why nothing is working and not realizing that they're the common denominator in all of this. It's not happenstance. You know what I'm saying? All right, honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Love that. So yeah, honeymoons are fun. Again, after the party, after the vacation, then what, right? But for some of you, and this, I feel like this is more so for those of you that are coupled and kind of dealing with that unrequited love energy, you guys just might need a staycation together. You might just need some quiet time together to fall in love again, to have a conversation, to be with each other's energies and not necessarily with the energies of all the responsibilities, right? Because again, when we're partnered up, life happens. We have parents, some of you have parents, or some of you may have children. You have your careers, you have your businesses, you have your health, you have your finances, you have all these things that are taking your energy and that need your attention. And you may have fires that you got to put out on a day-to-day basis. And so you don't really have time, or rather you're not making time to connect intimately with your partner. And I'm not talking on a sexual basis, right? Because sex, love, and intimacy are three different conversations. I'm talking about intimacy, I'm talking about connection, I'm talking about communication, I'm talking about being seen, being heard, being felt, feeling valued. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So you may have fallen away from that, and that happens from time to time in relationships, right? It takes time. So this is just an indicator that, hey, maybe during this time, let's just do something where it's just us, just me and you. No kids, no job, no dog, just I want to focus on you, you focus on me. I know there's an awesome couple that I've studied with, John and what's his wife's name? I forget his wife's names, but they're cute. They're the Butchers. They do this thing called Life Book. They've created this program called Life Book, which is life changing. And they go on a date. They have date night once a week. Doesn't matter where they're at in the world. Doesn't matter what's going on. Once a week, I think it's like a Wednesday. They go out on a date and they spend the night out. Obviously their kids are older and they have money, so they have a little bit more support. But you can still enact that in your own relationship, right? You can still create a specific time where it's you and your lover, and that's just one day a week where they go out. Every day at the end of their day, they spend an hour together just talking and connecting and like walking in their garden, just him and just her, right? Not the kids, not all the people that work for them, just them connecting on an intimate level to keep their relationship going, right? Because they have goals for themselves and they also have a goal for their relationship. So again, I'm asking, like, what is your goal in your relationship? You don't want to die alone? Fantastic. You got married? Awesome party, great. Honeymoon, fantastic. Yay, vacation. Now what? Now what? Now what? All right. Oh, it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So a lot of heart chakra activations happening, a lot of healing going there. Um, for those of you that got out of very uncomfortable and disgusting situations and relationships, I'm sorry. I've been there before. I get it. Um, don't allow your past to fuck up your present or your future. And I will say that, like, we learn from these situations, we grow from these situations. You're not meant to stay in that energy. Okay. So for whatever circumstances that manifested in your life, and that, you felt drawn to the energy, you have the opportunity to clean it up, right? You have the opportunity to love yourself, to set higher standards, to set boundaries, to heal your energy, to be comfortable with your own thoughts, to be seen, to be heard, to be valued, to be loved, to be respected. All right, like you deserve all of that. And so from that place and knowing that and loving yourself and really developing the energy of self-love, guess what? From that vibrational space, you become into alignment with someone else that's also there energetically, who's also there vibrationally, who's also on the same page as you. Okay, so then you start to draw in that energy because you are that energy and it gets mirrored back to you. You understand? You don't need a savior. You don't need like some knight in shining armor. Like you need to love yourself and love and value and respect yourself so much that the universe has no choice but to bring you other people that are going to love, value, and respect you. And again, we're having a conversation about intimacy. That's not, and the lovers, that's not just necessarily a sexual thing, right? This is you loving yourself. This is you loving your shadow and your light, your masculine and your feminine energies. And this is also you connecting with your soul tribe and your soul family. All right. And last but not least, we got religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So again, like that's the conversation I was having. Like, all right, well, you have kids. One of you is Jewish, one of you is Muslim. How are you going to do that? Right? For some of you, this is still an obstacle in your life. Um, Whether that's you met someone who just has different beliefs than you, or you're feeling very conflicted within your own energies because of the conflict, because of the things that you're being taught, they just conflict with you. And I get that because I was raised Baptist Methodist, right, as a Christian, and going to church and hearing my pastor's interpretation of the Bible was very different from when I gained my own relationship with Yeshua and with God and began to understand and read the spiritual truths for myself, right? Because I can take a passage out the Bible and use that passage to kind of like justify what I'm saying or to support my argument, all these different things. But I can also be taking that passage out of context, right? And so I had to go in and start reading the books for myself. I wanted to, like, some of the things just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me that God would just not love me as much as the other half of the planet because I'm a female. I was like, why would God, perfect God, who created everything, create something that he hates and just dismiss me? Like, it just did not make sense to me. And a lot of the teachings that I listened to didn't make sense to me. I was out of the church for a long time because I'm like, y'all niggas is bugging. Like, it doesn't make sense to me for you to be telling me about a all loving God. There's like, God loves everyone, but God, but what? It didn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me why they teach people that. I get it as it comes to the energy of fear and um, lack of worthiness and deservedness, right? And so when you learn that you're sovereign, when you stand in your light, when you become luminous, it's like, oh, I'm not entertaining that bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's not that the Bible was bullshit. It was the interpretations of some of the text that was bullshit. It was um, using it out of context, right? So it's all of these things. So for some of you, you're feeling conflicted in your energies right now just because of everything that you're learning. You know, you're opening up to your spiritual gifts and awarenesses. You have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding coming into you, and it's different from what you've been taught, right? If you're here with me, you're part of the high vibe tribe, and you're moving against the grain. Like, we do shit differently because it doesn't make sense, and we're like, that doesn't feel right, right? Like, truth is different. It has a different ring to it. You feel it. You can feel it within your body. You feel it within your soul. So when things are out of alignment and it doesn't feel right, like your spidey senses go off. And so many of us have been taught to ignore those spidey senses because of what society wants you to bring or to do or to be, right? But we're the high vibe tribe. We're not ignoring that. Our fucking spidey senses are why we're part of this high vibe tribe. We're on it. We know, we see, and no, we're not going to allow you to draw us back into that confusion, that chaos, that drama, those calamities, right? We're not accepting that at all. So from that space of self-love and self-worth and self-deservedness, right? Then then we start to understand the text differently, right? The Bible became a very different book for me when I understood it through my own heart, from my soul, from the Holy Spirit speaking directly to me instead of getting a filtered down interpretation of an interpretation of an interpretation of an interpretation, right? Because how many times it's been translated in different languages, and depending on which version you get will depend on how you receive the message. Even how I talk to you guys about the Bible, right? It's not I'm not telling you exactly how it's written, but I'm giving you the gist of the story so that you understand the point that I'm trying to make, right? Our pastors, preachers, and all that stuff do the same thing. So understand that that might be coming in for you. Um, don't be jaded by your path, right? Just tap into the higher energies, connect with your team of light on your own. If you feel restricted by your religious backgrounds, you know, like again, you can honor traditions as well as honoring yourself, right? Don't make your life less than trying to live up to an ideal that isn't necessarily real and that no one around you that is quote unquote living this life is doing. They're fucking full of shit. May those that have no sin cast the fucking first stone. Everybody will turn around and walk away. All right. So don't judge yourself. 5555, right? Don't criticize yourself. Don't hate yourself. Don't do all that dumb shit. Just know that you are loved beyond measure. You're a work in progress. You are perfect in your imperfections, and that today is a good day and tomorrow will be a better one, right? And live your life. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. It's been like an hour. My gosh. Anyway. Um, angels and guides, we have anything else for the collective before I dip out? Get grounded and keep your hearts open. All right. We are complete. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of the High Vibe Tribe. Thank you for just supporting me. You know, it means a lot. I know I've been pretty vulnerable here lately, just like frustrated, but it means a lot for you guys that show up, you know. And so if you feel like I helped you or you think I can help anyone else, please definitely share this, you know, like, share, subscribe. Hit me up, Etsy, Fiverr, website, whatever. Get a booking for a reading, start doing your coaching sessions. For some of you that cannot do the long-term coaching with me, again, I do spiritual calls. So those are quick kind of energy check-ins when you maybe only have like an hour and you only have like a certain budget, right? Because at the end of the day, I love you guys and I'm here to help you and support you. So I try to work with you as best as I can. Anyway, I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. And I will see you later. Happy, wonderful Wednesday. Later, beloveds.